spin, you tune into. It's time again to cherish all the time to spin, you tune into. It's the number one podcast. The topics of discussion when we broadcast. Man, you thought we was.
So all them artificial man jokes,
We do it natural from the concrete
to a public standpoint.
real, wherever you're from. Life is coexistence, but to
Know the real, you just gotta listen.
wherever you're from, life is coexistence, but to
Know the real.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the 52 Scott Podcast. I'm your host, K Money, and in the building with me, my co-host Slash, Freddie G, and Comedian 96. Collectively, we are the Mind of Men. You can find us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast, Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast, and if you're on YouTube, don't forget to like and or subscribe. Welcome, fellas, to another True Tuesday episode. This episode, man, is kind of similar to one that we spoke on a couple of weeks ago where a dog mauled a 9-year-old girl. However, this one involves some senior citizens. A Texas couple was sentenced to nearly a decade, or more than a decade in prison for their dog getting loose and killing an 81-year-old man and injuring his wife. The couple, Christian Marino, was sentenced to 18 years, and Abilene Snyder was sentenced to 15 years in prison. The dog got loose and attacked the Naharas, which is the couple's name, as they were running errands nearby. Firefighters who arrived on the scene said they saw a bloody man being dragged around the corner by three dogs. And the firefighters had to use a pickaxe to fend off the animals, the city's fire chief said at the time. And 3 dogs mauling.
That's an 81-year-old?
That just sounds vicious, man.
How did they get loose?
Well, dogs, you know, they when people are around, you know how you walk by, you can see dogs just barking for no reason. And
Yeah.
it could have been a hole in the fence or what.
He could have been 81. Sound like he was out for a walk.
Well, they say he was out running errands with his wife.
Okay.
But my thing is, you know, as a pet owner, you know, you have to take these type of precautions, especially if you know you have a breed that's known for doing vicious and violent things like pit bulls have a bad rap for.
Right.
And I actually do have a pit bull, and I'm not gonna say he's violent, but I do believe that he can become violent. You know, given the wrong situation, if he's put in the wrong situation. Now, as long as I'm around, I do feel that I have total control over my dog, and I think that's what a lot of dog owners need to be accountable and held accountable for. You know, if you know your dog has a violent, anything violent history, you know, I don't know if once a dog kills an animal, if the taste of blood changes their mentality or anything like that. You know, my dog once upon a time killed a bird, and I don't know if that changed him to become more violent.
How did he catch the bird? Was he
It was one of those birds that be
the blind ones?
right there in the bayous. One of them white birds. They actually be out there by the beach, but this one for some reason
like
was
the seagulls.
Yeah, something similar to a seagull.
With the big neck, the crane.
So let me ask you, K Money. Do you think that a dog takes on the personality of its owner?
I most definitely do. I think the longer you own the dog, I do feel the more the dog can and will take on the personality of the owner. I think also the way the dog is being brought up, you know, if you're constantly whooping his ass and things of that nature, that can also cause a dog, I think, to be violent, especially if they're not used to that individual being around. And you could do something as simple as, you know, slap him on the ass, and he may not react in the same way that he would react if his owner did. You know what I'm saying? But in this situation, I don't know how the dogs got loose, but I'm sure the owners could have and should have stepped in to they could have at least prevented this man from being mauled to death.
Well, what it says that the owners were negligent by not providing adequate fencing and allowed the dogs to run.
I see that a lot. Now, when I was younger, It's funny now, but I used to go to McDade Elementary. It was on the north side by Barbara Jordan High School. They were right next door, and Key Middle School was right next door too. And McDade, there was a street called Fall Street. Now Fall Street I had to deal with at the very beginning. Now this dog was in the middle, but Falls was the only street that could take me to McDade. So, so I had to go straight down that street. So there was a cookie lady. There was a lady that sold candy cookies. She had a house on the left. This dog was to the right. 2 houses down to the right. I had to pass that dog every day. Every day he would bark, 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 bark. And then one day, he dug enough to get up under the gate and he chased me. This happened every morning. I would never see the owners. He would chase me, and I was fast enough to get to the cookie lady house. Then one morning, he decided, you know what? You ain't going to school today. That dog sat right there in front of the cookie lady house, and she didn't open till like 9.
Waiting on you?
Waiting on me. I sat behind that gate, and boy, mama, they called the school, called my mama. I'm like, man, they came looking. I was behind that gate. I said, that dog. And the crazy part is, he wouldn't mess with no adults. He only messed with me. I don't know why.
So let me ask. So I'm not an animal lover. I don't, dogs and all that stuff. K-Money,
Yeah, you're not a fan of them.
I'm not a fan of dogs at all, right?
Not even the little one.
I don't mess with none of that. No dogs, no animal, none of that. I don't mess with no animal stuff.
That is weird. I would have never guessed
The only animal I tolerate is you, Comedian 96.
Well,
and sometimes it's tough. And sometimes it's tough. So, so let me ask you. Now, I hear a lot of dog owners. And K-Money, you've told me this. You know, when I come over to your crib, I'll be like, well, that dog, I ain't coming into the house till you put him up.
Yeah.
I ain't coming in the house, right? And so I hear a lot of dog owners say, oh, he just want to sniff you.
Yeah.
He just want to get your scent.
Right.
And smell you, right?
Yeah.
Now, could it be that these animals attack people because of the scent that they smell on that particular person?
Because they don't like
They don't like the scent that they smell?
For what I understand, they sense fear.
They sense fear. Yeah.
So, but I'm not saying that that's a reason to attack a person.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like to me, it seemed like, okay, you want to get my scent. And then now, a dog have, sniffed me or whatever the case may be, and I was scared as hell.
Yeah.
So that sense and fear is out the window. That's debunked because every time I'm around dogs, I'm scared. My anxiety level go through the roof.
And they don't bite you.
Well, I think the way you move while they're sniffing you, because if you move,
I don't. I'm still like
exactly, which is why they don't bite.
I count the sense and fear. This one dog, I never forget, a Rottweiler. His name was Jordan. Her name was Jordan, but she went to man's best friend. My girlfriend had it, and the first day she said, "I need something, because you gotta smell you." The first day she barked at me, but then they took, I think I had a shirt or a shoe or something, gave it to the dog. Then they let me in the house. Then the dog came up to me, but it didn't attack, right? And then I rubbed it, and then it stopped.
You growled back at it.
Oh no, I was scared. My heart beating the whole time. So then, the mama and the daddy and my girl goes to the back room and leave me and the dog in the front room. I'm still scared.
Animal instinct.
I'm still scared.
Animal.
This dog, what it did, I was sitting in a chair like a little one of those with the recliner. It comes right in the middle, in my legs while I'm in the recliner, and put his head on my stomach, right? So I'm scared, so I just rubbed it. I just kept rubbing it, and I'm like, Monique! I was screaming, they way in the back room. Monique! Go get the dog! So finally, it took about 20 minutes before they came in the front. And I said, why did you leave me out here this long? This dog was huge. So I'm rubbing the dog. So finally they said, man, she just playing you. She just wants you to rub her. She know you scared, so she gonna stay in your lap and let you keep rubbing her because she know you scared. As soon as I stopped rubbing the dog, went over there and just went on back to his bed. Went on back to her bed. So it was smelling my fear because it knew I was scared, so it knew I was gonna rub. The dog liked to be rubbed.
You should say something, K-Money.
Yeah, I was going to ask you a question, Freddie G. You asked earlier, do I think dogs take on the personality of their owners? What made you ask that? Had you heard that before?
No, it just... So, no, I've never heard it. But I would think that, for animal lovers, and they treat the dog like a kid, like literally like family. And I know that with children, not to compare children to a dog, but with children, if you're teaching them certain things and you're teaching them manners and they're gonna take on a personality of what they're being taught. And so to me, like if you have a dog and you teach them, like train them, sit, roll over, whatever they teach the dogs, it'll start taking on the personality of who you are. That's why, like for instance, I've heard animal lovers, dog owners say, "Oh, he ain't gonna bite. He friendly."
Yes.
And in my mind, anything with teeth bite.
Right.
Then I've heard dog lovers say, "Hey, don't come over here because he'll bite you." It's kind of like they know their personality. Now, you telling me don't come over here because he'll bite you. They're telling me that, damn, you ain't controlled. You ain't got no control over if he bite me or not.
That means he's trained to bite you.
Yeah, but that's my point, though.
Yeah.
If he's trained to bite me, you can train him to be like, no,
not this person.
So, in one aspect, I've heard owners say, "Oh, he's just friendly," or "She's friendly. She's not gonna do nothing. She's friendly." Then on the other aspect, "Hey, she'll bite," or "He won't bite." So something there tells me, okay, you've taken on that personality of that owner, and so it's just leave me baffled about.
My personal experience with dogs and just kind of watching the behavior of dogs, what I've noticed is that most dogs that are kept in the backyard are more aggressive than dogs that are kept in the house. So the dogs that are kept in the house know how to react around humans more so than the dogs that's kept in the backyards. And I think that situation with this guy being 81, those dogs, like they said, they were negligent to keeping the fence around the house.
And if there was a hole in the fence or whatnot, then they probably should have been tied up.
They should have been tied up.
But I feel like dogs are very much like children. They pick up a routine just like a child can. When they're young,
right.
Like you say, when you're teaching a child, hell, you're teaching the dogs something similar in regards to how you want them to behave, especially if you keep them in the house. Dogs are also known to be possessive. So with these dogs being on the outside and you coming close to their property,
that's theirs.
They looking at protection, that property.
Theirs, yeah.
And again, that's definitely where the owners were negligent and not making sure that these dogs don't get out and get away, to do any harm as such as what they've done.
Okay, I got another question.
Okay.
How much does the breed of the dog play a part?
That's a good question. I was just thinking about that. Now, this is something I know, and this is somebody that taught me in Man's Best Friend. There's certain breeds.
Using man before.
Yeah, I was. I mean, no.
They was being trained. What breed is he? He half human and half dog.
So Rottweilers, I want to say German Shepherds and Doberman Pinschers. Those breeds, they protect territory. So you ever been to somebody's house and then the dog will just come to the edge of the street and he won't go no further? He don't come out the yard. He'll bark, but he won't come out the yard and chase you. The only ones that will are the pit bulls, the chow chow.
I disagree, man. You can train a dog to have boundaries to where he knows, not to go past this.
Yeah, but that's what told me about professionals.
So now,
they said chow chows, pit bulls. There's another one. They're gonna leave the yard. They come and play.
But let's say a dog doesn't have any training, right? No formal training.
Okay.
Going back to the breed of the dog, how much does the breed play a part? Because if you're training them, you're training them against his natural breed.
Right.
It depends on what they were used for. Some dogs were used to kill lions. Was that the Mastiff?
Nowadays, people don't. Dogs are not used for what they were actually bred for when they originally started breeding them. Mm-hmm. And like I said earlier, pit bulls have a bad rap because people back in the day were known for fighting these dogs. Mm-hmm. What would make them aggressive in a manner to where they would want to attack somebody? That I really don't know. I'm not sitting there saying that my dogs wouldn't attack anybody. I do feel my dogs are friendly, and if you come over, they go through the sniffing phase, and they go jump on you just to be playful.
Yeah.
Ooh, Lord.
I'm
about to pass out.
And you know what's so great? See, in California, that's why they had that show, Pit Bull and Parolees.
Yeah.
California got that law. If you see a pit bull, you can shoot it. Don't go to jail. Just pit bulls, though. So that for California to still have that law, it just tells you about the breed of pit bull. Now, not all pit bulls are like that, because I had a great pit bull, but she did attack one person, and I didn't see it coming because she's a sweet dog. I didn't see it coming, but that was the only one time she did it.
Now, honestly, I believe in this situation, the owners, there were other things that they could have done to prevent this. I think we mentioned earlier, but here's one thing that I know I've seen before. They have these electric dog collars.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Once they go so far, that thing turns them back around.
Yeah, they hurt. I mean,
They can feel it. I don't know how, but I'm sorry, Comedian 96. Obviously,
you have a dog collar.
how this works.
I just want to see how it feels.
Explain to me what your...
It's like a certain distance that
Yeah, it sets those boundaries. So
I put it around.
Yeah, where you put it? Around your wrist?
Because it didn't fit around my neck. So.
It didn't fit around. You tried it. You've tried the electric dog collar, Comedian 96. This is what you're saying.
Okay, you know how you put the battery in your mouth? That battery, that
9 volt.
That 9 volt. Well, it's one of those tests. I just want to see how bad it would be. That's all. I haven't done a stun gun. I'm not going to do that. But
I think too, if you mix in different types of blood, like you mix a pit bull with
something else.
That could affect the temperament of the dog.
Yeah, aggressive against aggressive.
Well,
you act as a super
I think if
aggressive.
you mix in the different blood,
Yeah, I think so, because at this point you don't know what the dog's reaction gonna be, because it's not simplified as being a pit bull. It's this and that.
Yeah,
So
it's a girl that kind of lives in my area, and I see her walk her dog every day. She says it's a pit bull. I said, no, that got to be mixed with a mastiff. He's just too big to be just a pit bull. Too big.
well, maybe she don't know what breed.
That's what I told her. She said, I'm going to get a DNA test.
Yeah.
She's going to go to and get the DNA test.
because those mastiffs are really, really big.
Yeah,
and
it's the biggest
But
pit bull I've ever
is
seen.
that an aggressive breed though?
The mastiff, no, they're not. They're really friendly.
they scary as hell.
It depends. Again, they were built to kill the lions, from what I hear. So it depends if they're doing that, they'd probably be aggressive. But to people now, they be nice, just like the cane corso. Man, I have not seen not one yet. I have not seen a mean cane corso yet. All of them want to be playful.
I mean, I'm like Freddie G, and I do tell folks this, when they ask, do my dogs bite? I'm like, anything with teeth will bite. But what causes them to change that aggression to something negative is what I haven't figured out. So, if ever my dogs are outside, I definitely have them on a leash. I keep them on a leash to where I have control of them. You were mentioning earlier, how this couple could have done several things.
Yeah.
The only thing one thing I definitely could think of, like I said earlier, is making sure that they were tied up and restrained from, getting out of the yard.
And see what makes that a problem for me is because something's wrong with your fence.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you? You got to expect something to happen if you know that your dogs can get loose.
Exactly. So now here's my question. Say the 81-year-old man had a gun and he killed the man dog.
He had a right to do so, I would think.
Yeah, if the dog is
But I bet
attacking.
he got time.
You would think he would get time.
He would have got at least
animal
2-3.
cruelty?
Yeah, animal cruelty.
I don't think so.
Not if the dog is attacking, man. I don't
If
think
the dog's even running after him out the yard, once that dog exits the yard, he free.
Man, America,
Free game.
That's what I'm saying.
America is different, man.
Different from who?
They different because they will go after you. Look at Michael Vick. They ruined his career over some damn
That
dog.
was-
I know he's fighting dogs.
but that's a crime.
That's a crime. You fighting dogs.
That's a
different.
crime.
But hell, they've done worse to humans and nothing. You get what I'm saying? You get to
I
keep.
see where you're going.
Yeah, you get to keep your job. You get you get a pension. You get a bonus. You get to take off. You get paid days off.
That was a bad example, but I get what you're
It's just a great example because the cops can kill people, nothing happened, but we kill a dog and get time and get our careers taken away from. You get time for killing dogs. I wonder what would happen.
People.
Now, apparently these cops they get bonuses. Just saying.
I hear you, bro. And I can't even say that that's an isolated situation.
Get time off, bonuses.
You kind of exaggerate like
because
Cat Williams.
The police probably have a written ledger about stuff like that.
Yeah,
that they have to go by, in a sense, because their job is to carry around a pistol and enforce laws.
Man, you need to kill somebody so you can get 3 weeks off, man. Plus paid time off, man. Gone. Is that what they're saying?
No, I don't think
that's
it's
what
right.
it feels
It's
like
not
because
fair.
every time you look up, somebody on paid leave for killing somebody, and then they're back at work and 3 months later.
Let me ask y'all this: do y'all think a Chihuahua is an aggressive dog?
I can't stand Chihuahuas.
I just think that they do too much.
They're people.
They
They're the
overdo.
owner's dog. They are not usually friendly. I'll say 95% of it. They're only friendly to their owners.
They bark too damn.
Right,
much.
and that's why I asked, because say you breed a Chihuahua with a poodle or some shit like that, you think that poodle is gonna become
Angry
aggressive or
and upset,
have a temperament of a Chihuahua?
Because I think those Chihuahuas have a height issue.
They got little man.
I was just about to say small
I
dog
think
syndrome.
they so little to. I think they're afraid of everything because that's the only reason a dog bark, because he's scared.
Yeah.
A dog that doesn't bark is not afraid of nothing. So when they train these dogs, the trained killer dogs is not gonna say nothing till the owner say get.
That's true. I think that's how your dog's okay, money.
Well, I don't have a code word yet for for them to attack.
Because you be having some good barbecue, and I be needing to come over there, and then
The dogs be in your way, huh?
yeah.
But they go mind me. I mean, and I'm very physical with my dog. I be busting their ass.
Yeah.
And, I've instilled that fear in them.
Mm-hmm.
So again, and I know that they're very protective of me and those that I possibly consider family. That they've seen a lot of. But again, I do feel that any and every dog does have a trigger.
Yeah.
That can cause their ass to snap at the drop of a dime, and what that is the age-old question, I guess.
Now, there's a dog owner in my area where I live, and I see him daily. He's got these 2 big German Shepherds. They never on a leash. They walk with him and everything. They never on a leash.
Remember, I told you they're
But wait.
territorial.
But wait, he walking miles down this street and a mile back. The dog's never on a leash. He can walk away from the dogs. If he tell the dogs don't move, and he
right
walk
there.
100 feet down the street, they ain't gonna move.
Yeah, I could do that with my dog.
Now once he make a certain gesture, here they come. But he'll walk them and stand them up on, make them jump on top of the bricks, and just sit there and watch him. Whatever he doing, they won't touch you. They not. You can walk by him.
Damn, they train.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. If you're gonna have dogs, this is how you need to have your dog.
agree.
So when it comes to training dogs professionally, are the dogs abused during training, or are they just given treats when they do something right?
I don't think you abuse them.
Like you know how they train lions and
Dolphins.
tigers and stuff. They shock them and then they with the little poker stick and they
stuff
whip
like
them with the whips. And
Professionally, I don't know how they do it professionally, but I've spoken to a gentleman that he does train dogs, and he actually advised me that giving them a treat is not good when you're trying to train them, because they basically doing it just to get that
Just
treat.
to get the treat. So when you don't have no treat, they not doing it.
Yeah.
I get you.
So they beating the shit out of them then.
Well, I mean, you have to get their attention somehow, but
So
I
you
think
beat
just
the
like
shit
with
out of
kids,
So you trying to train them? You trying to train them to sit, and if they don't sit,
you bust that ass and say sit.
Sit your ass down.
Now,
But you got
okay.
to start early with them. I think the earlier you start with the dog, the easier it is to train.
So check it out. We do know that there's an animal cruelty law. So if the method in training dogs is abuse, wouldn't that be considered animal cruelty?
If it's abuse,
If it's abuse.
but I don't consider.
I'm talking about those training facilities that actually
Yeah,
go
I
and
agree.
train dogs.
If they do some of the things that you just
But
mentioned, I would think that that
Do
is
we
abuse.
know how those laws are governed? If it's a private property, they probably can't say nothing to the people if it is abuse during training these dogs. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because because they're on private property, they may not be able to step in and say, "Hey, you're abusing these dogs," knowing that you have to abuse them to train them. If that's the case, so maybe because they are on private property, the police can't step in and say, "Hey, you're abusing these dogs," trying to train them. But I don't know how the training go. But if it was the way you're saying, then how does that work?
Yeah, I don't know how it goes either, but I don't think private property would be able to stop them if they had valid evidence that this type of abuse is going on. Then I think the law should be able to
Step in.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Wow.
But I'm like I said, I'm very much a dog lover, man. I hate to hear these type of stories where dogs do this type of violence when I know for a fact that it could be prevented. If the owners are more responsible and do what they should be doing as far as caring for the dogs. For those dog owners out there, man, just make sure you have your dogs tied up. If they're out in the yard, and if they're not tied up, just make sure that your yard is secure to where they can't get out and cause any damage, because as owners, we will be held liable. As you see, this couple was sentenced to over 10 years apiece for something that they actually didn't do, but because they were the owners, they have to be held liable, and I have no problem with that. Appreciate y'all joining us. Come back next week. Peace. This concludes another True Tuesday episode, and be sure you tune in tomorrow for another episode of Women Wednesday with Freddie G. Don't forget to follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Sky Podcast, Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Sky Podcast, and if you're on YouTube, don't forget to like and or subscribe. And to all my 52 Sky faithfuls, it may be new to you, but if you heard it here, then you know it's true.
Wherever you're from, life is coexistence, but to know the real